Hi, my name is Mary Karina. Welcome back to the Math Resource Center at HCC Del Mabry campus. This is number 5 on the Graphing Trigonometric Functions worksheet, and we're going to be talking about graphing a secant function that has been transformed. So number 5 reads, graph the following function, identify the period, amplitude, phase shift, and domain and range. Our function is y is equal to 3 secant of x. So I'm going to pull up a model that I always use for reference. Y equals a secant of bx plus c plus d. So here in this model, a represents amplitude, b is going to help us find the period, c is our phase shift, and d is our vertical shift. In our function, our a is going to be 3. Amplitude is always positive, so just keep that in mind. Even if it was -3, our amplitude would still be 3. The formula for period is going to be 2 pi over b. The reason we're using 2 pi and not just pi is because 2 pi is the period for the parent function of secant. So if you were to graph just secant, the period would be 2 pi. In our function, b is just an invisible 1, that's the coefficient of x. When we plug that in, we just get 2 pi. We don't have a phase shift, and we don't have a vertical shift. Let's use the parent function of secant to model our function after. We don't have a vertical shift, so our origin is going to start at 0, 0. Our amplitude is 3, so we're going to mark 3 units above the origin and below the origin at 3 and -3. The period is 2 pi, so we're going to mark a point to the right of the origin, 2 pi, and to the left of the origin, 2 pi. So that gives us -2 pi over here and +2 pi. You can keep going and marking these, but we only have room on our graph for these 2 periods. The period for the parent function, secant, is between 0 and 2 pi. So these vertical asymptotes we can actually just copy over onto our function. On the parent function, the horizontal asymptotes are at 1 and -1, but because our amplitude is 3, our horizontal asymptotes are going to be at 3 and -3. On the parent function of secant, we see that from the origin to the beginning of the horizontal asymptote, we have our first function. We didn't have a phase shift or a vertical shift, so our function is going to be in the exact same spot, but instead of starting at 0, 1, we're going to start at 0, 3. From that function, the next functions to either side are going to be facing down, and then facing up, and so on and so on. Our domain is going to be anywhere the function has a value of x, so basically anywhere on this graph except for the vertical asymptotes. So that's going to be all x except for where x is equal to pi over 2 plus pi times any integer. And an integer is a whole number that's not a fraction. So pi times 2, pi times 3. And the range is going to be from -infinity to -3, and then union from 3 to infinity. Thanks for watching, and leave a comment if you have any questions. Make sure to like and subscribe, and check out our channel for more math help.